What's going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. Alright, today we have the Nether Spider, right? We're going to do a guide with a free-to-play team that most players have, right? Especially if you've been playing for about 3 to 6 months. You should have most of these champions, and it's honestly only really 3, maybe 4 particular champions that you really need. But it is going to be a free-to-play team, consistent all the way up from normal 1 or normal 20 up to hard, I believe it's 100, right? It just means that you need to scale the survivability of the champions up a little more. So let's get into the team. Okay, so what kind of a team are we talking about? Well, the first thing we need to do is we cannot bring any AoE champions, right? So Artek's usually an MVP in every one of these bosses. But unfortunately for this, we cannot use him, right? He is going to put out an HP burn, but then he's going to cause the spiderlings to do more damage to us, heal the spider, unless you bring a heal reduction, right? So we cannot bring him in. But what could we bring in? Well, we can definitely bring in our Drexstar Blood Twin, right? He does have an AoE, but the AI setup is smart, so he will never do it while you are on the boss. Now, so that we got that pretty good. Next, what else do we need? Well, we need a cleanser, right? Once we get to the boss, she's going to put a lot of poisons on us, so we need a cleanser. So what do? Well, we bring in Reliquary Tender. She does not need to be fully awakened like I have her. It just is what it is. I got it, so I use it, right? Now, what else do we need? Well, at this point, these two champions, if they're built pretty well, could do it just by themselves. Now, just to be on the safe side, I do like to throw in my Pythion, right? If you don't have Pythion, then you could put in your Cell of the Drakes, right? It just helps to consistently be able to cleanse the poisons. All right, so you don't have Cell of the Drakes, you don't have Pythion. What else could you use? Well, you can definitely use a Spirit Host, right, to cleanse. You could definitely use a what is it called over here, a Mausoleum Mage, right? Also comes in with a great cleanse. You could definitely use a Uragrim, right? He's going to come in as a solid cleanse. Basically anybody that's going to provide you with a solid AoE cleanse. Now, an MVP in this would actually be Doom Priest, right? She continuously cleanses everything, so if you do an AI setup where you bring in your Reliquary Tender, save the cleanse for when she gets to the boss, you're going to be all set. So let's go ahead for this one. Again, we'll put in Pythion, or let's just put in Cell of the Drakes. It's still going to be a 100% run. But is it going to be fast? Absolutely not, right? We're being free to play here. We're trying to do it with as minimal champions as possible. Could we speed it up? Of course we could. You come in and you bring somebody that's going to bring in a, single target nuke just so they can work on the boss. But honestly, you don't even need to do that. I would just bring in the more supports, the better, right? Bring in the Pythion, bring in a Spirit Host, or instead of a Spirit Host, bring in another Doom Priest, and then just let the HP burns do their job. It might take you 4 or 5 minutes, but again, it's going to be consistent all the way up to hard 110, right? So it's going to be about, 4 or 5 minutes for this run, but again, it is going to be consistent. Now, we are positive affinity with our Drexstar, right? So that means we're never going to get crit hit, right? And we do have our Drexstar in a Guardian set, so he's going to provide a little more support for our Reliquary Tender and our Cell of the Drakes, right? Again, no AoE, no one. Again, Drexstar does have it on just as he used right now on his A3, but he will not use that on the boss. I have seen people bring in a Venom Mage with a Geomancer and a Maneater, and you can use that team and farm it in about 45 seconds or so. But, if you don't have a Maneater, if you don't have a Geomancer, it's not really going to help you out, right? So, we're about 2 minutes onto the boss. Vergis here just kind of becomes a little pain in the rear, but no one here is dying. Now, again, you could set up an AI setup to make sure that your Reliquary Tender does the cleanse on the next round. I don't suggest bringing any food champions in to use any of the speed masteries, because what is going to happen is your Reliquary Tender and your Silver Drakes or Python, whoever it is that you're using, is going to revive them. They're going to keep dying, and then it's just going to become a problem, right? So, come on, Vergis. Just die. Just die, man. There we go. All right, 2 minutes, 37 seconds. Again, if you brought in a single target nuke, you would be fine. So we get the poisons up on us. Reliquary Tender cleanses them, and we go right to the boss, right? Everything's got an HP burn on it. And so, again, they're going to basically kill themselves for us. Now, this is where Doom Priest actually would be MVP here, because Doom Priest will basically cleanse everything off every time. Not that Reliquary Tender isn't doing a great job. She's doing a wonderful job. It's just we would never get any of these poisons on us. All right. Now, Python, again, would probably be better than Reliquary Tender if you have him, right? He's Force Affinity, so he's not going to get crit. Reliquary Tender does need to be built pretty well, right? Silver Drakes, I mean, you can't say anything bad about her. She's just so great. That was actually a counterattack from Drexstar, which isn't bad, because if we counterattack, we don't have to really worry about the boss healing up, right? It's only if we attack the boss. Now, again, it is going to take some time to get this down, but Reliquary Tender should come back in and cleanse all of this off right there. We get the decreased speed from our Silver Drakes. My Silver Drakes has like 200 accuracy, which kind of sucks, to be honest, because if you put like a decreased speed or try to decrease your turn meter, you are going to get a poison sensitivity buff on you, or debuff on you, and so that kind of sucks. So I would not suggest putting any accuracy in your Silver Drakes for an endgame build. We are getting quite a few Brimstone procs, which is nice. 5 minutes, 9 seconds. This may hurt us right here. All right, shouldn't be too bad. The poisons are being absorbed. But you could definitely do 4 supports instead of the 2, and that will definitely work for you as well. So there we have it, 5 minutes, 38 seconds. Not bad, not great, but free to play team, right? So let me show you guys the builds. All right, so first up is our Drexstar Blood Twin. Now again, Drexstar Blood Twin, we have him built in a Guardian and Perception. The Guardian set does help, but is not mandatory. Basically, what we care for is making sure we have enough stats to keep him alive. If you can put him in anything that's going to heal him back up anytime he takes a turn, go for it. Stats wise, what are we looking for? Well, we have him built at 71k HP, 3.6k defense, 156 speed. We don't care about the speed. It doesn't matter. 249 resistance, doesn't matter. 578 accuracy, that does matter. We want as much of that as possible. Now, skills wise, we don't need him booked, but if you have him booked, that works well, right? The passive is the only thing we really care about. The A2, not really, right? A1, not really. We can get some HP burns off from that, but we don't. We can get more consistently from the passive than anything else. We did take Brimstone on him, right? You saw that it works quite well for this. As for masteries, what did we do? We did take Eagle Eye. We did take Master Hexer along with Sniper. We did take Evil Eye along with Lore of Steel. We did also take Retribution from the defense tree. We did take Delay of Death along with Resurgent. Okay, so our Sill of the Drakes is built with a regen set, right? It's probably the best set for her going all the way into the end game. You could build her with a Relentless or with an not an accuracy, with a stun set. I wouldn't suggest it. You could go Immortal, Bolster, or Regen is going to be best. Now, stats wise, what do we want to do? Well, we want to keep her as tanky as possible. 68k HP, ideally. Anything higher would be better. 4.5k defense almost. Anything over 4.2 is kind of wasted, so I could tone it down and try to build a little more HP. As for speed, 255, right? You want to make sure when you're heading into some of these hard mode things, 250 is going to be the minimum you need to have. So anything over that would be great. Resistance wise, we have her built with 436. Ideally, I'd want to try to get her close to 450. So I need to make up a little more with some glyphs. Accuracy wise, for this build, I don't really need it. I don't want it, right? I'm not really trying to make things more difficult for myself. And I'm not using her Relentless, also not using her in a stun set, so I don't really care for it. Now, booking wise, what do we want to do? Well, do we need them booked? Not really. We don't need her booked at all whatsoever. It's all about her passive. The 4-turn cooldown for her revive works well, but it's not mandatory. Intimidating presence is what we did take. Eventually, we're going to get some more HP percentage, or HP, defense, resist, and speed. And then, you know, whatever you pair her with, she's going to increase that aura, right? So that's going to be awesome for us. That's what we want. As for masteries, what did we take? Well, she is going to be our solo reviver for the most part, right? So we did take Timely Intervention, we did take Spirit Haste, we did take Cycle of Magic, we also did take Lure of Steel, we did take Rapid Response and Healing Savior. These masteries are going to be ones that basically increase the amount of healing she does to herself and everybody else. As for defense, we did take Retribution, along with Cycle of Revenge and Delay of Death with Resurgent. All right, Reliquary Tender is one of the best rare champions out there. Now, currently mine is built for the Phantom Shogun, but you do not need these insane stats that I'm going to show you, right? The shield set does help. Bolster would be better. Again, regen, always better for your revivers. Anything that's going to keep them up most of the time. As for stats, what are we looking for? Well, we want to try to be as tanky as possible. So 50k HP minimum, I have mine at 64. 2.9k defense, pretty good for a rare champion. 290 speed, you do not need her this fast. Again, when you're moving into hard mode stuff, you want to be able to be at least 250. Resistance, we didn't really kind of shoot for it. It wasn't done on purpose, but we have it at 308. If you're going to build resistance, build it at 400, right? Books wise, she is a rare champion, so we do have her fully booked. We did take Miracle Heal, right? Masteries wise, we didn't take anything, but if we were, you'd take the same thing that we would do for any other reviver, right? We would go ahead and we would take Timely Intervention, we would take Spirit Haste, we would definitely take Cycle of Magic along with Lure of Steel. We would definitely take Rapid Response because she does bring some buffs, along with Lay on Hands. Now, we also, for the defense tree, we would take Retribution, we would take a Cycle of Revenge, we would definitely take Delay of Death, along with Resurgent. So, hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you currently working on hard modes, Doom Tower? And as always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well. Be good to each other. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.